Hello everybody and welcome to the Sanchez Plays John Shafer's at the Gates. This is a new game that is coming out today. I'm playing on an early release build, so everything is not perfect as it would be at launch. I know he's working on some things, but I decided to go ahead and make a series of this already. So John Shafer is a guy who has worked on this since 2014, I believe. It's a really interesting 4X strategy game. I love it. It's super cool, and I want to share it with you guys as well. So let's just dive into it with a new game. And there are different tribes. The Goths are the one that you play standard as. It's the one that is unlocked at the beginning. And there are a couple of other tribes as well. Some of them I've unlocked, some of them I haven't. And how you unlock these is actually quite interesting and fun. I believe that he got some inspiration from The Binding of Isaac, a roguelike game. And the way you unlock them is by either defeating or allying yourselves with the specific tribe in the game itself. And they all have their specific abilities. As the Goths, you start with extra food and treasure. As the Huns, you can train horse archers, but you cannot own structures and stuff like that. One that I like a lot specifically is the Lombards. And you have all resource deposit identified, but you're unable to train any clans in foraging professions. Now what it all means, we'll get to that once we're in the game. Well, right now I'm just gonna start with the standard, the Goths, and just load up the game. So this is still an early build. There will be bugs probably. There might even be crashes. Because this is not like the full-on build yet, but yeah, it's fully playable. It works well, and it looks awesome. All right, so this is the map. As you can see, there are some unidentified resource deposits over here. We have some friendly, neutral, well, not friendly, literally neutral buildings over here that just do their own thing, and we have some clans that joined us. So let's click on the clans. We have Clan Halbert. Clan Halbert is a wild clan, which gives them extra power, but morale is decreased by is also increased by 1/4. But they might engage in feuds. They might engage in some theft and some brawls, and they're also apathetic, which means no experience gain, no desires, and never feud. So these cancel each other a little bit out. They will never feud. We have a Brown Thumb. That means they are very bad in agriculture, but also rustic, which means they're easier to train in agriculture and livestock, but they don't like the discovery. That these combined means that these guys will pretty much be livestock guys, because they will be upset if they force into a profession outside of agriculture or livestock, but they don't like agriculture, so you have to be on livestock. And we have a perceptive one, which gives extra vision, and another wild one. Alright, so what does this mean? Well, these are the traits that make up your clans, and it will determine if they become upset and angry. Happy clans produce more resources, unhappy clans produce less. We have a clan limit of 12, and we currently have 3. And in one turn we get a new clan. The clans also consume food. And yeah, we need to make sure that there is enough food. Now, what do we want to do with these clans is very simple. We want to train them in professions. So this is our clan overview, and these are all the clans that are in our settlement over here. It's a nomadic settlement. We can pack it up, move it around on the map, and usually you are encouraged to do so as well. to take a lot of profit from these resources. And then you have a lot of professions. This is like all the professions that there are. That's a ton, and they're categorized in a couple of categories: discovery, crafting, metalworking, livestock, agriculture, and honor. Honor is more like warriors, but also hunters if you want to get some food from, for example, these pigs. And we start with a couple of professions unlocked, but by studying professions we get more. Agriculture is for farming and gathering. Livestock is for butchering, but also making pastures and stuff like that. Metalworking is for mining, but also converting the iron and coal into other things like tools and weapons. Crafting is for gathering wood, but also making boards and a lot of other things. For example, weaving to make cloth. And then you have the discovery, which is like researchers, people who give you fame, and with fame you attract more clans more quickly, but also explorers, surveyors, and those kind of things. Also traders, which can make you money. Now we have a couple of unidentified mineral deposits. We have an unidentified plant and a herd of pigs. Now we know that one of these guys is going to be angry with us if he's not going to be in the livestock profession. The problem is that the livestock profession isn't that amazing for us at the beginning, because, well, we can make a trapper if we want to have some parchment and some cloth, which could be interesting. But usually the livestock profession, in my opinion, is for later, when you can make some ranchers and perhaps some butchers to get a lot of food out of it. But that will be for later. So let's start getting things on our way. So these guys are wild, which kind of makes me not want to have them inside a settlement combined with other clans. They might feud with each other, they might commit crime, and it would make people unhappy. So these two will probably be outside. One of the things that is really useful to have in the beginning is a explorer. So we want to train this guy probably to be an explorer. He also has extra range. So what we're going to do is train him in a discipline. We're going to train him in the discipline of discovery. The first level of this is always free. After that, it will cost parchment to train him up more. So this will give him 1 level in discovery. Right, so now our settlement isn't idle anymore, but we need to study a profession. And if we discover discovery itself, we can give one of my clans 2 free levels in discovery. So we can time that like this. After this research is done in 1 turn, we can give the guy that we're training in discovery another 2 extra levels in that. So let's go ahead and do that and finish the turn. Before we do that, might want to explain how do you win this game, because this is not a complete conquest game. You don't necessarily want to conquer all your neighbors or anything like that. It's nothing like that. There are 2 ways to win this game. One of them is there are 2 Roman empires, the Eastern Romans and the Western Romans, and if you can occupy their capital, you win. The other one is by training Roman legionnaires. They're expensive to build, take 24 turns to train, and once you have 5 of those, you can become Magister Militium, which you need to send 5 Roman legions away and take another 24 turns, and you will take control of Rome and making you the most powerful leader in Europe. So those are the 2 victory conditions. Let's finish the turn. And you will see that it will show the date. It is late April 400 AD. You can also see the date over here if you mouse over that icon. Every turn that we take is like half a month. So we started in early April, now we're in late April. And seasons will change. In winter, snow will come, things are cold, people don't want to be outside, supply will be more limited, we'll see that as well. But first, let's continue with this. We can give 2 levels of discovery to our guy. And we got a new clan, so let's see that as well. We got the Lothar clan. They are gatherers, which means they start in the gathering profession, and they don't want to be outside of agriculture, which is fine by me. They're also lazy. They take extra turn to train, and they have less movement, but that will be fine. Having those gatherers is actually quite useful. We're gonna take them out. They are an active clan, which means that they do things outside of the settlements. We're gonna leave them. And gatherers have the ability to gather fruit, honey, olives, and grapes, which can be used as food. And later also you can use honey and grapes for booze and olive for olive oil. And what gatherers also do, they can identify unidentified plants. So we're going to send our gatherer over here and then identify this deposit. In the meantime, we want to train our new upgraded clan into the explorer class, and because he has levels in it, it is cheaper to train in, because he only takes 1 turn for the explorer, while this guy would take 4 turns, for example, and this guy 2 turns. So having levels in the particular thing that you want to train them in will make the training time shorter. So we're gonna get an explorer. Why do you want an explorer? They go around the map fast, so we can see a little bit what's around us. But there is also some ruins are scattered around the map that can give us some benefits, and only the explorer will be able to collect those. Now, what do we want next? We can study another profession. We can start inside the discovery and get something like guides or surveyors, which do different kind of things, but we need to focus on other things first. I think that we might want to get somebody who is going to do some hunting for us for some early food. And also a little bit of protection should some bandits or something like that come towards us. That means we want somebody in the honor tree. Honor discipline it is called actually. So let's queue that up. They will give us another 2 free levels, which I'm going to make the Halbert clan probably the one that goes into honor. And with 2 levels it will reduce it by 2 turns training a hunter, and that will be fine because at that point we will be able to do it in 1 turn. So let's finish a turn, and we will get another clan as well. Who knows what that might be? Maybe it will be somebody already in honor, and we're gonna change our mind. So we have another one that likes the agricultural discipline. They have green thumb. They start with 2 levels in agriculture, but also filthy, and people don't like that. They might engage in a feud. So let's switch to honor this tribe. And then I'm going to train them into hunters. Now we have somebody who is already good in the agricultural discipline. I can't train them in the discipline by itself because that will cost us a parchment, which we don't have. But what we can do is study agriculture and just make him into an even better agricultural person. So let's get agriculture up there. We have our explorer idle. Well, let's start a bit and explore. There's some sea over here, so we don't necessarily want to explore that way. So let's go over here. You can see this is one of those, treasure huts, I would say. This farm has been recently abandoned. May contain some supplies. Investigation by an explorer. So let's go in that way. So some deposits are unknown to us, like this plant, but simple ones like wheat we already know of, and therefore we can already see. Another gatherer can't gather wheat. We need a special class for that, and that is called the Reaper. The reaper will be able to get barley, flax, and wheat, while the gatherer gets fruit, honey, olives, and grapes. So there are two different clans. Eventually we'll be able to build farms, and a farmer will do any of those. But on buildings, we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's just continue. So our hunter is done. Let's send them to the pigs. And next turn we'll be able to start hunting the pigs for food. Now we may switch disciplines of a clan. And we're gonna make you more agricultural skilled. So we can train him to be a reaper. What was you? Yeah, you like livestock. Well, that's not really that amazing, but I will give you the levels in livestock anyway. Maybe we'll find another animal deposit, animal herd it is called. And the hunter is the one that is able to identify animal herds. So there are pigs we knew from the beginning, but there are a lot of things that we don't know what they are, and we need to send the hunter there to figure out what it is. And to make things easier, we're gonna train him up in livestock already as well, instead of training this guy. We don't really need the food. Oh, there's a battlefield here as well, a deserted one, and a deserted fortress. So there are 3 cool places where we can send our explorer. That's really nifty. And let's end the turn. Let's see what we get. And we have another clan joining us. These have they are dabblers, which means they are bad outside of metalworking, and they're calm. Morale increased, will never engage in feuds, and will never engage in brawls. That's pretty good. We're gonna use that one really well. We wanna train up our livestock guy a little bit more. And why won't we study some metalworking profession? Get our metalworker more skilled and make him a digger, and see what kind of deposits we have around. Because eventually we want to start building some permanent structures, or semi-permanent structures. As you can see over here, this is a semi-permanent structure, a logging camp. But the resources around here are diminishing. That means because these structures will literally diminish the resources that you get out of them. Eventually they will just literally disappear. Well, trees will grow a little bit, but if we hunt all these pigs, they will just be gone forever. So we'll hunt for now. And we can see we get a positive food, we get +4 meat from the hunting, and we consume 1.2 food, which will mean we are storing some extra food. Now this guy is in critical supply. But if we end on a tile which has these critical supply, the 3 red blocks, that will be problematic for us. Because what will happen is he will take health damage and morale damage. And the problem is with that health damage cannot be healed unless you are inside of the settlement, or on the settlement specifically, and you spend 5 oil and 5 cloth, I believe. Otherwise they will just not heal. But let's go, there's something else. There's these red tiles as well, and that's a stream. If we enter this tile, we will not be able to move anymore. But we also lose our next move. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you over here first, then over there, and then get the stream. So let's see. Oh, it was a trap. Bandits lying in wait. So there are some bandits over here now. And they have a power of 4. And these guys only have a power of 3. So that's not ideal. Yikes. Right now, well, we can train these guys into reapers and send them out over here. Because you don't need to the gathering part of the game, you don't need to be inside of your borders. The only thing that you need your borders for is if you want to build a building. If we make a reaper, we can reap some of this wheat, and we should be fine with that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make you a reaper for some extra food. Reapers are also able to identify plants. And let's see how our clan over here is going to do with the bandits. Will the bandits attack? Will they just move away? We'll find out. So the bandits attacked. We did relatively well. We did more damage to them than it did to us. But we got more morale damage. The problem for these bandits is now their supply is quite critical. So we can't attack them because they are not a warrior class, but we can dig in and give us some extra defenses if they attack next turn again. But they will also suffer from the critical supply and probably suffer some damage from that. Now we had a couple of alerts. We discovered what this is, and it is a grove of fruit tree. Which is good because we can forage that, make some extra food. And our friend over here, I'm going to send you over here to this field of wheat. This is a marsh and has the same problem. You lose your next turn if you enter. We also met a leader. This is Samo of the Slavs, which will give us a couple of information things. He is Aryan Christian. He's indifferent towards us right now. And he has a +1 relationship because we have a shared religious belief. There's a small part of religion in this game. And we can greet him. We can tell him, nice to meet you, which will give us no extra influence with him. We can give him some treasure, which will give us some extra influence and a relationship level, or some food, which does the exact same thing. To get an alliance with him, we need 5 leverage. Currently we have 1. 1 from relation, 0 from influence, and 0 from reputation. So if we give him some, let's give him some treasure. We have $100. Well, actually, let's give him some food. We're making enough food right now. And the treasure we're going to use in a second. So let's give some food, which will give us an extra relationship, an extra influence, and therefore we have 3 leverage. And we have a caravan. And caravan will visit us sporadically every now and then. They will come along and they will have some goods to buy and sell. We can also sell goods with, and that's one of the ways that you can make money. But currently he doesn't have that much in stock. We can upgrade the caravan, and after spending 10 treasure, future caravans will have reliably alcohol, parchment, cloth, weapons, tools, and timbers. Sometimes oil, wool, flax, iron, coal, and stone. And sometimes horse, sheep, cattle, and pigs. And you can upgrade the caravan a couple of times, and it's actually really useful to do so, so that you have more selection of goods that you can buy. And we can switch disciplines because we trained that. Now we're gonna make this guy a digger so he can start identifying some of these mineral deposits. And we want to study a profession. And well, it's gonna be a while before we get another clan, and I hope that we can make a clan for crafting. But in the meantime, I think we wanna go and train up a little bit of miners. It's gonna be useful because these buildings degrade the resources around them, and that's made because they're made out of logs. You can also make buildings out of stone, and while making buildings out of stone, they don't degrade the resource that they're on. That's super useful and very important for actually establishing a more permanent base. And if you want to eventually, you can declare yourself a kingdom, which will settle your settlement in place where it is at that point, and it will just make your tiles spread out a little bit more, so you have a larger place. And yeah, you're settled in what you are then. Let's go for the next turn. Let's see what those barbarians will do to us. The barbarians actually moved away. And they did suffer from bad supply, so they actually will suffer for that. Let's go here over for this deserted farm. I think that should be fine. Inside the farm storage, your explorer finds experts in survival willing to help him, which means that he will require one less supply. Alright, will suffer damage on a tile unless it has a supply level at least of -1. I believe this means that he will never be out of supply anymore. Our digger is now ready to excavate a little bit. So this is a large river that we won't be able to navigate. We can't move over here. He thinks that there might be a path over here, but we know that there isn't. We are smarter than that. I still want you to move over here, but you have lost your move because of the marsh over there. So you're gonna move there as well. And then the settlement is idle. We can't train him in anything because livestock doesn't provide a standard profession in the beginning. So we can't train him in discipline unless we want to have him in another discipline. So there's not much we can do with this guy for now. So we're just going to produce some treasure. That's the other option that you have, and you get 5 extra treasure. And let's finish the turn. And we get another clan. They are esteemed. Training time doubled in agriculture, livestock, and metalworking. Experience gained is halved in that. Never engages in feud. Will commit some theft and engage in brawl sometimes. They're also competitive, which will also makes them feud sometimes. But esteemed gives something more important, and that is ennobled. An ennobled clan. You can ennoble clans yourself, but when a clan becomes ennobled, you can give them 5 levels in a discipline of your choice. And some professions actually require your clan to be ennobled, and that's quite expensive to ennoble them. It costs 10 fine cloth and 10 armor. What this guy is going to be for me is going to be a craftsman. We're going to switch our training of the miners. We're going to make a crafter out of him. And we're going to collect wood and eventually make him a logger. And we're going to chop down some of those trees. We should train them. And this is maybe a little bit exploity, but we can train him in the discipline of crafting. Because he has 0 levels in it. And then we have the choice to make. We can give him, because he's ennobled, 5 levels in a discipline of our choice. We're gonna go with crafting. Now the sneaky part of this and the exploity part of this is that he's still now trained for free in the crafting discipline, which will not give him 1 level as the first level would do, but because he was already trained in crafting, he will get 2 free levels. Then when our research is done, he get another 2 free levels, so he will be a level 9 crafter. It's a little bit sneaky, and maybe a little bit exploity, but it's also really useful, so I'm gonna go with it anyway. And that's gonna be it for this first episode. I hope you find this game as interesting as I do. I will be playing a full series on it and complete this game, and probably do some more with some other clans later on as well. But that's all gonna be in the future. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.